It's expected to kind of go away throughout the course of the game. But, man, at 5 o'clock this morning, it was coming down in buckets.
It was raining, it was pouring, but hopefully they can do the same on the scoreboard, rain some points today.
The Grambling Tigers have elected to kick off, and Alabama State will receive. Big game here if you're Alabama State. One loss in the division, and you got Jackson State coming to Montgomery next week.
They say that could be a trap game, but Alabama State is trying to stay focused today.
Opening kick, and this is Robert McMinn. He gets the football and slips at about the 15-yard line, and had a chance to be on this field yesterday. And when it does rain, it is a little more slick down on the field.
Yeah, especially on a turf field like this, it's always hard to keep your footing when it's not the natural grass sometimes. So got to watch out for that throughout the game.
It'll be first down and 10 here for Alabama State, starting this ball game out. And, man, Alabama State, boy, have they been through some quarterbacks this year. They will start Kareem Key at quarterback.
Former wide receiver. Coach saw him doing some option drills with the defensive ends in practice one time, and after those injuries said, hey, go ahead and try out this job.
And he actually impressed the coaches during the summer and during the spring workouts, throwing the ball around, and gets the start here today. And, of course, Grambling State University not only doing on the ground, but they've done it in the air. 9 different receivers have caught touchdowns this year. Nick Howard, Chris Simmons, Belazar, Waters, Johnson, Knight, Harris, Robinson, and Tony Phillips.
And what makes that even more impressive is that they've done that with injuries at the quarterback position.
Run on first down to the 30 and a little bit more. Boy, that pile kept getting pushed. And, boy, those buffet busters just feeding right there on the defensive line.
When you see the offensive line get a push like that, that's one of those, we want these yards more than you.
Fletcher with the tackle there for Alabama State, not before picking up 8 yards. And that's what Coach Joseph talks about, winning on first down. Give to Bull Hargrove, flag on the play. And we've got a Grambling player slow to get up.
That was the Bull on the carry, but flag on the play. Holding.
It's going to be holding against Grambling.
You are holding the second half.
And that'll back Grambling up. And is that the first penalty of the game?
I think so. I think it is the first penalty of the game. And a penalty like that really stops all the momentum for this Grambling State offense that had Alabama State on their heels, especially in the run game.
Second down and 12 now. Del-J Bailey throws incomplete. That was great coverage by Caleb Alford, the graduate student from South Haven, Mississippi, right by Memphis, Tennessee.
And Alabama State in that secondary focuses on their guys having one-on-one battles. There you see there a one-on-one battle, sticking on his hip. If he's even, that's great coverage right there. Looking back for the ball, could have made a play if it was a better throw.
And this will bring up third and long. Keeps going on. Rugby going on. Flags on the play. And finally, the play is whistled dead. Key lost his helmet. And the officials talking about the penalty at the 27-yard line.
And I know once that helmet goes off, it's supposed to stop the player from doing anything. So maybe that's what this flag could be on.
Now, here's the rule. Remember, if this is a face mask penalty or some type of a helmet penalty against the defense, Key can stay in the game. If it's not, then Key will have to come out of the game for a play. And players checking on Key, as you can see there, making sure his head is still on there because, well, I'll tell you what, there was a lot going on.
Face mask, defense, number 10. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Caleb Lee Collins.
Foul to stay in the game.
Caleb Lee Collins with the face mask penalty, and as you can hear the official confirming, because of the face mask penalty and the helmet coming off because of the penalty, Key can stay in the game. Look at the scrum there. Just everybody going after the football, and there comes the helmet off.
And Collins there just throwing the helmet on the ground once it comes off.
So Alabama State with their deepest penetration of the ball game now inside the 15-yard line at the 12. Oh, movement on the line. Looks like it could be charged to Alabama State. Josh Daniel, the redshirt freshman from Birmingham, guilty.
Got to hold your water there if you're the offensive lineman, especially after getting a penalty that helped get you into the red zone deep inside the 15-yard line.
Oh, tough penalty there. We were talking about Key, Kareem Key. One of the things that the coaches talk about is how coachable he is. He's an AB student, and really, the team believes in him, and that's so important. Once again, player being pushed forward to about the 16-yard line. There's Kareem Key, and man, doing well in the classroom, serious about his business there, leader on this team just as a freshman. If you think about this, he is a freshman being able to go from wide receiver to quarterback. What's going to happen next year?
Exactly, and I wrote an article this week talking about the top freshmen in FCS football, and Key was one of those. He's going to be one of the most impactful freshmen that we see down the stretch throughout all of FCS football.
For Alabama State.
And that's great touch there from Key. Fakes the jet sweep and then just floats the ball over the heads of two defenders. That's called a hole shot, and just gets the ball to his receiver in space. What a throw.
Jabari Kukendall on the catch for Alabama State. And now it's first and goal for Alabama State. They're at the 10-yard line. Take the touchdown off the board for Grambling. Alabama State scores the touchdown. That's a 14-point swing.
And with that touchdown coming off the board, they only scored in about 2 minutes. It didn't take any time off the clock. So they got the ball and scored quickly.
There you see the Alabama State Hornet cheerleaders here today. You know, we were talking about the band, and in radio, one of the things that we did is we did something called a switch. And I had a chance, I played tuba in high school, fun fact. And so I had a chance to sit with one of the students, and I was doing things with the band for about 2 weeks, practicing for the Bayou Classic. And the assignment that I had is I had to play one song with the band in the Battle of the Bands. I had to march in with the band, and I had to play a song. And the student that I switched with, he had to actually do commentating on the sideline during the game. There's no feeling like going in there with a big tuba that you haven't played in years, and you're marching in, but the energy that you go in there with, and you're sitting in there with the band and playing a song, is just incredible. I was scared to death.
Yeah, we might be able to get us a little band up here. I used to play saxophone in high school. We might be able to get a band going up here. Just need a drummer.
Here's the kick from Alabama State. Comes down to Keelan Elder inside the 5. Elder to the 20, to the 25, and boy, Elder having one heck of a day as he gets out to about the 27, 28-yard line, first down and 10.
With this drive coming up, Grambling really has to move the ball a little bit. They got stalled out their last drive in their own territory. You have to be able to get a couple first downs here, even if you don't score. That way Alabama State can't add more on the board before halftime.
Tigers back onto the field. And there you see Ryan Lewis, the defensive coordinator for Alabama State, really talked about Coach Sims giving him his first start, graduate assistant, being able to coach and play under Coach Sims, and just really very appreciative of what he was able to do in helping him along as a coach, and now a defensive coordinator here with Alabama State.
Yeah, when you coach under a legend like Coach Sims, you begin to pick up different things in coaching styles. And for Coach Lewis, for him, it's really just letting players be who they are and not trying to out-coach his talent. So that's a great thing that he learned from Coach Sims.
Del-J Bailey looking, and he's going down at about the 25, and there's a flag on the field.
We have a flag on the play.
There you see Coach Lewis saying decline.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. The penalty decline. The play results in a third down.
Don't want to give them second down again.
Yeah, and especially after the result of that play, now you back them up and you get it to 3rd and long. So you rather have them have 3rd and long instead of a 2nd and long where they can make it a 3rd and short.
Coach Lewis says he's got 4 guys out there that can really be defensive player of the year. I mean, obviously you look at Rico Dozier. He's been one of those guys, but he's got 4 guys out there.
Yeah, Traquan Thomas.
And let's see where they mark the ball at. It'll be at the 36-yard line.
The ball on the reception.
Bull Hargrove with the catch, and Lightfoot Jr. on the tackle, or forcing the player out of bounds. And we have the 2-minute timeout here in Grambling. We'll take a timeout here in the Piney Hills of North Louisiana.
You're just watching Joseph even when he was at Nebraska and rooting for him. So that goes to show how that camaraderie and brotherhood goes on.
Here's the punt. This one's going to land inbounds. It's going to be a fumble, a flag all over the place. McMinn couldn't handle the catch. There are flags there as well, and we have to check and see what the penalty will be all about.
And if this is a fair catch interference, then that ball will go back to Alabama State, and they'll have good field position to start off this drive with less than 2 minutes remaining.
See what our officiating crew says.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the ball. Kicking team, number 1. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And there you see the special teams mistake there again. Got to allow the receiver to catch the football.
And that's a penalty that you cannot have because that moves the ball from the 30-yard line to the 45-yard line. And that is key after you've seen this Alabama State team make long field goals.
At the 45.
First down and 10 now for Alabama State. Here you see motion. Here's Key. Nice handoff. Out to about the midfield stripe.
23 on the carry.
And on the carry,
Second down.
it's going to be Gates Jr.
And Gates has been making people miss in that backfield all game long. That first defender has struggled to bring him down.
Really strong at his core. Knows how to keep his feet moving. Does a great job of not. A first down, Alabama State.
Another quick pass, faking the run, faking the toss, and then just taking the tight end on this quick RPO.
Defense, number 13.
And a personal foul against the Grambling Tigers. Isaac Washington called for the penalty, and so not only do they get the big pickup to about the 21-yard line, now you're going to give them a penalty here, which will move the ball inside the red zone. Oh, right there.
And it looked like he hit him on time, but he hit him high. You cannot hit the quarterback above the shoulder pad, and he just threw a forearm way too high there.
And now Alabama State will have the ball at their 10-yard, at the Grambling 10-yard line. Just over a minute remaining in this first half of play. And you said it, giving Alabama State the ball back in this position, very dangerous. And there you see Grambling all over the run. And that was Marcus Harris the second.
Second 11.
And you have a Grambling Tiger down on the field, and that's Andrew Jones down at the 15-yard line.
And you never want to see that. One of the best players on defense in the SWAC now down.
He is the heart and soul of this Grambling State University defense, and right now he is down at the 15-yard line, and you can see the obvious concern from head coach Mickey Joseph, who is around him, and you see the Alabama State players there, but Coach Joseph talking to him. You see the trainers and the doctors. Looks like he's okay and is going to get back up.
Come on, let's clap him up.
And of course, you take a look at he's definitely one of our impact players today. 6'2", 220 from Marrero, Louisiana, down by the New Orleans area.
And he's making plays, even right there, getting a tackle for loss, showing up in that backfield. So now in this red zone, you never want one of your top players not on the field. So now, if you're Alabama State, you want to try to take advantage of a top player off the field.
And you see talking to the trainers here at Grambling. When you have a player like that, all eyes are on that player because of the impact that he makes.
Decline the 10-second runoff. The clock will start on the snap.
Coach Robinson described Andrew Jones as a game wrecker, and they have to identify where he is every play.
Red jerseys all over Gates Jr.
And it looked like he was trying to push the ball downfield, but then he just took what the defense gave him with that underneath route.
Come on, Grambling State Tiger fans. It's
third down now for the Tigers, or for Alabama State.
And this is one of those downs where Key has to really do what Coach Barnett said they were emphasizing with him. Don't try to be Superman here. This is one of those downs where you have to know that you're down one score and you have to get points. Or you're up one score and you have to get points to push your score to 2.
Good timeouts. Good timeout here by Alabama State. You just said it. They do not want Key to feel like he has to be Superman in this case. And so the timeout here to settle everything down and make sure that they have the right play. 12 seconds left. You got time. You know, of course, it's third down now. So if you don't get a first down here, do you take the points or do you go for it down here in this area?
I think that depends on how close they get to that goal line. Because Alabama State, if they get close to that goal line, maybe get a first down, they don't have to score here. That clock will stop, and they'll get a new set of downs. So this is really a territory where you can get a first down. You might come up short. So you really have to time it kind of perfectly here.
Talk about Coach Barnett as the OC, but also the quarterback's coach, and that was his position at North Carolina A&T when he was with Coach Broadway, the years that he was there. Came up through the ranks, though. He started at some small schools and then came up and got Greg with the catch, and it's going to be short of a first down at the 3-yard line.
30-second timeout.
1 second remaining here.
Please put 3 seconds.
3 seconds now. They reset the clock.
3 seconds.
3 seconds remaining in the half.
And Key looked left to that bunch formation and then came back all the way across the field and found his receiver on that out route. You like for your receiver to get out of bounds there, but that's a good play there from the DB, making that tackle in bounds and forcing Alabama State to use another timeout.
Gosh, Deuce Jones was all over him. There you see Kareem Key. He has a 5-yard rushing touchdown and a 2-yard rushing touchdown so far. This is an important decision here if you're Alabama State, because you got really time for one play, and they're going to take the points here.
I like this decision because you now go up 2 scores instead of potentially only being up 1 score. You're on the road. You need points when you can get them.
10 as we go into the halftime locker room here in Grambling. Alabama State on top of Grambling 20-10 here at halftime. Now with our Pepsi halftime show, of course, the world-famed Tiger Marching Band from Grambling State University.
Fields Jr. Mr. Fields received a Bachelor's of Science degree in Music Education from Grambling State University. And was also the band director of the World Fame in the fall of 1993. Brown, LGS. Edward T. Fields Jr. a hidden language of the soul. The direction of Jeremy Griffin. Place, dynamic, artisans. To feel life by Cameo.
The world famed Tiger Marching Band here in Grambling. It's halftime as the Grambling State University Tigers trail Alabama State 20-10. Back after this. And on the field, let's go down for our Pepsi halftime show. The world famed Tiger Marching Band entertaining the crowd here on Senior Day. We're at halftime. Alabama State on top, 20-10. We'll take this time out. Back with stats coming up next.
Grambling has to come out and they have to really simplify things. Just get some quick plays going offensively. Run some basic coverages, some basic plays that you know your defense is going to run to really get back into the swing of this game and just reestablish yourself. You're at home. This home crowd will get behind you if you can get some stuff going.
Well, Keelan Elder will go back to receive for the Grambling State University Tigers. And he had a return for a touchdown that was called back because of a penalty. Fans really getting into it now here at Harris Williams Field at Eddie G. Robinson Stadium. 5 home games for the Grambling Tigers this year. I can go back to 1993 and never have seen that.
And being able to play at home, especially when you can have the band, the crowd, in a stadium like this, a beautiful stadium, has to help home field advantage every week.
Ball was bobbled,
Elder.
and Keon Elder gets out to about the 15-yard line. That's where the Tigers will start first down and 10. Not exactly the field position that head coach Mickey Joseph and the team wanted, and there you see him going over. There you see the coaching staff going over, talking to Keon Elder and saying, hey, just shake it off. Now, this is part of that middle eight. You got to win the last 4 minutes of the first half, win the first 4 minutes of the second half.
And the penalties in that field goal they got had them lose that first part, but they can still potentially score here and win that second half of the middle eight.
Here is the give on first down, gain of 2 yards.
And off to 23.
Keon Elder, look, the coaching staff said he has been so patient with all the changes that happened. Of course, you got Trey, you got Bull, who are your starting 2 running backs. And for Keon Elder, he played in special teams to really just kind of wait and been playing extremely.
Field goal, it's good.
And Gilliam puts 3 more on the board. That's 7 coming off the board. Keon Elder made a difference in this ballgame.
Yeah, that touchdown really would have helped them in this middle eight that we talked about. This middle eight is over now, and it's safe to say that Grambling lost the middle eight, and that was one of their goals coming in, to dominate that middle eight.
Here is the kick. It'll come down, looks like to Keon Elder. And he fumbled it once again, trying to pick it up. But he recovers, and he gets out to about the 25-yard line, and a flag on the play.
Elder on the return. We do have a flag on the play.
Officials trying to sort things out here.
Personal foul. Illegal blindside block. Return team, number 43. The penalty being forced half the distance to the goal. First down.
Marcellus Johnson with the illegal block, blindside block, I should say, and it cost him 15 yards. Well, let's take a look at Alabama State. It's been sweet home Alabama. They have really not had to leave the state a lot. You go back, you've got Mississippi Valley, Alabama A&M. That was a Magic City Classic. Alcorn last week. That was in Mobile. Jackson coming up. Prairie View, Tuskegee. I mean, look at that schedule, just full of games in the state of Alabama. And it's run tackle made.
And going back to, like you said, that schedule, when you don't have to travel that far, that's the hidden fatigue. That travel mileage, that's hidden fatigue right there. So they're missing out on that. They can get back home, kind of rest up a little bit quicker than some of these other teams that they'll end up playing.
And you start looking at next weekend for them, it's Hall of Fame weekend. And what a better way to have Hall of Fame weekend. Jackson State comes to town, and it could be for first place in the division.
Could be for first place in the division. We saw FAMU and Prairie View were in a close one at halftime in that game. So depending what happens there and depending on what happens here, if Alabama State can finish this game, then that could allow that game to be for all the marbles.
Bull Hargrove with the carry and Rico Dozier with the tackle. And, look, one of the things that people talk about all the time, and you're right, is the travel. How much do you have to travel throughout the course of the year? And, look, I was there at game 1 this year when they played Miles College, and everybody was like, good Lord, if you look at this schedule, there's just a ton of games that are right there in the state of Alabama. And so when you talk now, of course, you got 1 on the play.
On the tackle.
And guess who makes the tackle? Andrew Jones.
And Darling.
Jones, man, flying around the field, making plays in the backfield, beyond the line of scrimmage. He's everywhere. He's showing why he's one of the top candidates for SWAC Defensive Player of the Year right now.
I just think someone that when Coach Joseph first came in, they had that discussion talking about, hey, we want to make sure you're in the program. Here's what has to happen. And since that point, it's been nothing but good fortune for Andrew Jones. And this play, again, stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Defense coming up big once again. Darling, it looks like, Darling on the tackle.
Come on, Grambling.
And look at Jones here, reading and reacting. That is a high football IQ play. He's looking at the guards. He's following them, staying off of their hips, not getting touched, and then just helping his teammates making a play. He's such a smart football player, and he's great tackling. That's one thing that comes down to willpower right there, being a great tackler. You have to want to bring these guys to the ground.
Key with the pass, incomplete. Looked like he was trying to go for McMinn, but he was going back towards the seam on that particular route, and there was no one back out towards the other third of the field. And now it's 4th down, and if you're the defense, that's a victory in your Grambling State.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get off the field these last few possessions. So now that they are able to get their offense the ball back, they could be able to cut into this deficit.
Punting situation now for Alabama State. And this one comes down to about the 15-yard line. Out to the 35 and to the 37-yard line.
Returned by Jalen Johnson.
Johnson
Flag on the play.
to the 37 and a flag on the play. Flag, by the way, is at the Alabama State 46-yard line.
Personal foul. Tripping a member of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down.
So tripping on Alabama
All high
State.
school students who rode the bus with the Central Arkansas Alumni Chapter.
And now
Make your
that's a
way to
penalty
the front
working
of the
out
Facility
in
Center.
Grambling's favor. You know, they've had a lot of penalties on their own special teams on their returns for blocking the back, holding, things of that nature. So now they get to get the ball, it looks like almost beyond, yes, in Alabama State territory. So that's finally, they get something to go in their favor.
Yeah, and that's something that if you're Grambling, again, you didn't win the middle 8 the way you wanted to as far as that last 4 minutes, first 4 minutes.
Was on number 33. The tripping foul was on number 33.
And a tripping foul against Alabama State. They're clarifying the number on that. But now if you're Grambling, you got to do something with it. Here's the give. Maybe a gain of a yard on that play as the Black Swarm doing their job. Fletcher on the tackle, 6'2", redshirt sophomore from Tanner, Alabama.
And I think they have to get Bailey a few more RPOs because he can hurt the defense with his legs for sure. So I think on some of those runs, he has to have the option to not only just pull the ball, but also to have a passing option to keep those DBs out wide, to give him a one-on-one with the linebacker.
2nd down and 9 now. You know, this time 8-yard line, maybe to the 39. And there's a Tiger who lost his helmet down on the field.
That was a little bit of friendly fire there with the defenders trying to make a big hit.
Isaac Washington is the injured Tiger coming off the field.
Clap him up. Clap him up.
Redshirt junior from New Orleans. Looks like he'll be okay. And now Alabama State will have a fresh set of downs. Remember, it's only a 1-score ball game now. And so if you're Alabama State, you don't want to relax too much here in this drive. Tackled by Bryce Cage.
Bryce Gage
After a gain of about a yard on the play.
for the Hornets.
And if I'm Alabama State, I'm going to keep running this ball. Try to wear down this Grambling State defense. Now that we're deep into the 4th quarter, you have the lead. And as long as you keep picking up first downs, that clock continues to tick, 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 tick. And now, if Grambling does get the ball back, they'll have less time on the clock. Great inside move to create that pressure. And when you get pressure and hit the quarterback, good things happen.
They're trying to get it to the tight end, Harris. And Grambling has this drive stalled with a turnover.
But if you're Grambling, you can't give up hope now. You're still in this game, down one possession. They're not in field goal range, so if your defense can get off the field here, you still will have another chance to go ahead and try to get ahead in this game. A touchdown puts them in front.
Someone that they will have to watch. They'll have to watch McMinn, who's at the top of your screen. He's dangerous. Key, escaping pressure, looking. Fumble on the play. Grambling looks like they will come up with the football. Jamal Jordan recovers the fumble. First down and 10 now after the turnover by the Alabama State Hornets. Keelan Elder with the football. Boy, he is picked up and upended inside the 40-yard line at about the
Elder on the carry.
39. Burgess with the tackle. We've said his name quite a bit today.
And right here, Grambling just has to be patient. Take what this defense is giving you and just continue to push the ball downfield. You got plenty of time, all your timeouts.
22 turnovers gained by the Tigers this year. That is really impressive to let you know what that defense really is doing.
One of the top teams in all of FCS football when it comes
Support for the Grambling Tigers, and now the Grambling Tigers on top. And there you see those two guys, Keelan Elder on the right, number 23, and Talbert, number 24. Both have been instrumental in the running game for the Grambling Tigers. And something that the coaching staff spoke about is just how important this running back and how deep the running back room is. You've got Trey Bradford, you've got Bull Hargrove, you've got Talbert, you've got Elder. I mean, you really have a stable of running backs that's impressive.
And today being senior night is Talbert and Elder's day. And the important part about them being seniors is that they haven't been disgruntled with their playing time, knowing that they're having a deep, loaded field of running backs.
Here's a kickoff, and it will go out of the end zone. Touchback, and Alabama State will get the football. Of course, coming up for these two teams, Alabama State next week will host Jackson State. Depending on what happens in this game here, it could be for the conference, for the SWAC Eastern Division lead. For the Grambling Tigers, they go on the road to take on Alabama A&M on a Thursday night. It's their final game before the Bayou Classic Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, you want to have momentum entering that Bayou Classic, of course. So it starts with finishing the job here, something they've struggled with in their last 4 losses. They haven't been able to close and finish the game. So if they can get the job done here, now that flips the script on potentially this entire season.
First down run. Gain of about 2 yards on the play. Jordan on the tackle.
Brought down Jamal Jordan, number 21, second down.
Second down now. Nothing really doing here on second down. Rudolph on the tackle for Grambling.
Is third down.
And it's 3rd and long now for Grambling State. This is a down where it comes down to that 1-2. You have to want to get off the field here. You have to want this down more than the other.
This first down and a whole lot more. The pile just being pushed. Talk about pushing.
And this is just complete effort. Just keeping those legs churning. You have Scarborough right there. First guy to make the hit. He bounces off of him. And then the offensive linemen just keep coming and helping and pushing and pushing. A little bit of that tush-push style that you see with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now, if you're Alabama State, the clock is not in your favor now because Grambling just got that first down. So now you're going to have to start calling timeouts here.
Yeah, if I'm Alabama State, right after this play, I use a timeout. Right after the next play, use a timeout and then take it to the 2-minute timeout.